Yesterday was Prince Harry's 40th birthday.
I didn't send him a card.
I was going to say, did you raise a glass to him?
No, I didn't.
The Prince and Princess of Wales offered the Duke of Sussex their best wishes in a message on social media. Complete with a picture of a smiling Duke and an emoji of a birthday cake, they said, "Wishing a happy 40th birthday to the Duke of Sussex!" exclamation mark.
That's a quite odd way to phrase it when it's his brother. Referring to him as the Duke of Sussex. Do you think they might say, "Happy birthday, Harry"?
It's so English, isn't it?
And
just say what you really think.
And so formal. And normally, yes, William and Kate, if it's a personal message, they sign it W&C.
Yeah,
that's
and a
their
kiss.
trademark, and a kiss. None of that, because, of course, William has done this because his father's asked him to, in my view.
It looks like tokenist. You could the passive-aggressive tone of that message.
But only just
Let's speak to royal commentator Rafe Hayden-Mancoop. Rafe, do you agree with us that one sentence contains so much insincerity and passive-aggressive happy birthday wishes to the Duke of Sussex?
Yes, if there was a gritted teeth emoji could have been perhaps added to that message. We mustn't read too much, though, into the significance of why they have posted these messages, because actually this is entirely in keeping with the established convention laid down in the late Queen's reign, which essentially says that if you are a working royal, then you get annual birthday greetings as designed on social media. But if you're a non-working royal like Prince Harry, then only the major milestone birthdays are acknowledged. And actually, Meghan herself got a 40th birthday greeting in 2021 after they had split and after that infamous and horrendous Oprah Winfrey interviews. So it is in keeping. And obviously taking the higher ground always, reflects well on the royal family for not stooping down and being seen to be too involved in all the shenanigans. Noteworthy, though, that the photograph that they chose to post had been carefully cropped to excise Meghan from the image, which I'm sure is something many people are hoping will happen in real life too.
Yeah, absolutely.
The royal family has done it again, sending a message that speaks volumes without saying a word. On Prince Harry's birthday, instead of warm wishes or heartfelt memories, the palace released what many are calling the most passive-aggressive gesture in years. The absence of Meghan Markle was deafening. The official royal account posted a simple photo, Harry smiling, alone, with a caption so formal it bordered on frosty. No reference to his wife, no shared memories, no warmth. For royal watchers, it was a statement wrapped in etiquette, a royal snub executed in perfect PR precision. Within minutes, social media exploded. Fans called it petty, critics called it intentional. And while Meghan's name never appeared, her absence dominated the conversation. Was this a coincidence, or the monarchy's subtle reminder that she's still on the outside? Experts point to the language used, formal, detached, and icy, contrasting sharply with previous celebrations of family unity. It's a masterclass in palace politics, when silence says everything. For Meghan and Harry, this public distance might just widen the private divide. As the dust settles, one truth remains: every royal post carries weight, and this one was no accident. In the grand chess game of the monarchy, the players rarely speak directly, but when they do, even a birthday message can become a royal power move.
I mean, there's method in their madness here, Rafe, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, we also know that, the king himself, he's a deeply loving father. He's also a very Christian king as well. And, I think he is desperately hoping to have that prodigal son moment when his, son in exile comes back, hopefully apologizes or whatever, and there is some sort of reconciliation. Of course, the idea that his once beloved brother will go down that path, I think, is for the birds. I'm sure Harry is reflecting on, what did Dinah Washington, the jazz singer, said, to paraphrase her, what a difference a decade makes. 10 years ago, William and Kate were actually organizing Harry's 30th birthday bash at Clarence House, where he was surrounded by all his family, his lifelong school friends, even his ex-girlfriend was there. 10 years later, a very different birthday at home with his family, and then going off on some sort of male bonding kumbaya in the wilderness with a bunch of new friends that he's met recently. So I think, when you get into your 40s and middle age, normally you mature a bit, and the passions and tantrums and arguments of your 30s begin to seem a bit less important. So one hopes perhaps that Harry will be reflecting a bit on what prospects he has for the future for him and his kids.
This is the risk now for Harry, because it was all very well. We all felt desperately sorry for him as a teenager with what he'd been through with his mother. He moves into his 20s. You forgive him a little bit because he's still young. Gets into his 30s. You're starting to, patience is running a bit thin by then. Once he's in his 40s, Rafe, he can no longer spend so much time navel-gazing and therapising.
Move on.
And he has to grow up, frankly.
This is precisely it. There's nothing more embarrassing and cringeworthy than a 40-year-old grieving and moaning about grudges held from 20 or 10 or 15 years or so ago. I think he does need to reflect also on the fact that he's got two children who need to be seen with their grandfather, need to have an establishment with all of his family in the UK as well. I think it's time for a lot of growing up. And also, of course, I think he understands that his entire life in California is actually Meghan's life. It's her friends, from Serena Williams to Tyler Perry to Abigail Spencer. His social circle is not really his social circle, doesn't have anything in common with them. All he knows how to do is to actually be a prince and play polo. There's not many opportunities for him to do that. He doesn't really have any sort of business acumen or role in America as Meghan has with her lifestyle brand. And I think he really understands that the things that make him happiest are located over here.
Yeah, well, he made his choice, didn't he, Rafe?
Yeah, he did make his choice, but I think it's a choice which perhaps he's somewhat regretting now. Obviously, everything was done essentially to please Meghan. She's got entirely what she wanted out of this relationship. She's now hobnobbing with A-list celebrities and so forth. But I think Harry must surely miss, especially those dear friends who've been with him for so long.
Yeah, we've been beaten by the clock, Rafe, as usual. Could talk to you all morning.
Now, Keir Starmer, our Prime Minister, is in Rome today meeting his Italian counterpart, Giorgia Meloni. Do you like my Italian accent?
That was very good.
To discuss tackling legal migration.
I didn't know you spoke Italian.
Yeah, the Prime Minister's just been talking to reporters, so let's take a listen.
I was very worried by the news about this attempt. Looks like an assassination attempt. Very, very worried about it. Obviously, there's now an investigation going on, so I won't say much more about the details. But I think it is really important that we're all very, very clear that violence has no part to play at all in any political process. So deeply troubled, let the investigation take its place, but absolute clarity. Violence, no place in political discussion at all, anywhere.
You're here in Italy talking about irregular migration. Italy's new Albania deal. How could you potentially replicate that?
I'm here to have discussions here at this coordination centre and with the Prime Minister about how we deal with unlawful migration. And here there's been some quite dramatic reductions, so I want to understand how that came about. It looks as though that's down to the upstream work that's been done in some of the countries where people are coming from. I've long believed, by the way, that prevention and stopping people travelling in the first place is one of the best ways to deal with this particular issue. So I'm very interested to know how that upstream work went. Looking, of course, at other schemes. Looking forward to my bilateral with the Prime Minister this afternoon. But we've already got a shared intent to work together on this trade, this vile trade of pushing people across borders.
And finally, you were elected promising change, and in opposition you were very critical of Tory donors paying for things for previous Prime Ministers. Yet you've taken money for clothes for your wife, you were late with a declaration. What do you say to people who think you should be paying for your own clothes and that you're bringing just more of the same?
Well, let me shed a little light on this. It's very important to me that the rules are followed. I've always said that. I said that before the election. I've reinforced it after the election. And that's why shortly after the election, my team reached out for advice on what declarations should be made, so it's in accordance with the rules. They then sought out for further advice more recently, as a result of which they made the relevant declarations. But for me, it's really important that the rules are followed. That's why I was very pleased my team reached out proactively, not once but twice, because it is very important that we have transparency, very important that you and others can see that the rules are being followed.
Well, he didn't answer the question, did he?
No.
Why don't you pay for your own clothes, Prime Minister? And why don't you pay for Mrs. Starmer's clothes, Lady Starmer's clothes? Bearing in mind, there's often been a debate about should a Prime Minister's consort particularly if it's female, they're female, get support for their wardrobe because they're on parade often.
Yeah.
But we don't see her. She's taken a decision to rarely be seen. I think we saw her once during the campaign and, of course, when they walked into Number 10 together. So why does she need £5,000 wardrobe provided by a donor?
It just lacks dignity.
Yeah, it is. It's
classless, is what it is. It just lacks dignity to take the money of somebody who is not an elected politician, even if they are part of your party, for something as sort of trite as clothes.
I know. And also, you have to remember, he, as leader of the opposition, was earning £156,000 a year, driver and car thrown in.
Yeah.
She's on 50-odd thousand as an occupational therapist in the NHS. Not as if they're short of a bob or two, is it?
You don't need, the thing is, you don't need to go out in designer dresses, even if you're the First Lady. Or,
Yeah, and
you know,
she's not First Lady, because we don't have that system
so
here,
I sit
do
here in
we?
my Marks and Spencer's blouse.
Okay.
You know, you just don't need to spend that kind of money on clothes, even if you're in the public eye. I don't think it's... And well, mind you might say your papers would be lining up to judge her if she looked rubbish.
Yeah, but still, you can dress smartly. You can go to Gap. You can go to Next, can't you?
Gap.
Is Gap still around?
She can't dress in Gap, Andrew.
Well, yeah,
She's not going to turn up in a jogging suit outside 10 Downing
she could.
Street,
No, when I mean
is she?
Zara, she could go to Zara.
Primark, Zara. Other brands are
David
available.
Cameron's wife always looked very elegant, and she often went to Zara.
David Cameron's wife.
Yeah.
She's got her own designer dress.
She has
company.
now. She has now.
Yeah, she always wore
Keffin.
like
Keffin,
Keffin, it's called. How do you know that?
I had to write about it once.
Oh.
Because I was told that she had like a store within one of the big department stores.
Yeah, Harvey Nicks or Selfridges.
She had a flipping just
rail.
A rail.
I think
She had
it's
a rail, that was
pronounced Seffin.
It. Is it Seffin? It's the initials of her children. It's the initials of her children.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we've given them all enough publicity, but we don't want your free clothes because we're not buyable, are we, Andrew?
Well, not.
Pierce?
I buy my own suits. Thank you very much.
We can't be bought.